Three people stand in a sunlit contemporary wedding venue with exposed brickwork, climbing ivy and fashionable flower arrangements. Facing us is the officiant, a white woman in her 60s with a grey bob haircut. She's wearing a tailored pale blue jacket with a silver brooch, sensible navy blue trousers and flat shoes. On the left stands Raf, a white trans man with a fashionable mullet haircut, wearing a casual navy pinstripe suit, a white t-shirt with a loosely tied cravat and leather trainers. On the right is Esther, a brown woman of mixed ethnicity. Her hair is up and decorated with elegant gold jewellery that matches her nose stud and many earrings. She wears a flowing navy dress decorated with pale pink flowers that match the floral display. Her loafers with a heel make her the same height as Raf. Raf and Esther face each other nervously, as if they're about to exchange wedding vows. The officiant speaks loud enough for the unseen guests to hear.
Over the centuries, marriage has been many things to many people. It has been an act of love, an act of friendship, an act of economic necessity. It has been a long, thought-through decision, a heady act of passion, a drunken impulse, or a deed of desperation.
Raf and Esther smile.
Occurred before God, before state officials, before Elvis.
Raf and Esther suppress laughter.
We are not here to judge, but we are here today to celebrate your union, Raf and Esther.
Raf and Esther hold each other's gaze without smiling.
You both have some words you'd like to exchange. Raf, would you like to go first?
Raf gathers himself and then speaks direct to us as if we were standing in Esther's place.
Esther, for the past 12 years, we have shared a home.
Esther smiles.
It's where we would sit on the sofa, late into the night, sampling every flavour of herbal tea we could find, chatting about films and books and life and love, giggling and tickling each other's stomachs till we cried.
Esther laughs a little.
I've never let anyone do that before you.
Esther's smile fades.
It's where we planted carrots and tomatoes and courgettes and pretended that they were the most delicious things on the planet, even though the ones from Aldi tasted better. It's where we welcomed our baby Gertrude, the most miserable cat on earth, into this world. It's where you pushed me to talk about my feelings and got upset when I didn't or couldn't.
Raf has tears in his eyes.
It's where I struggled with an eating disorder in secret. I think you had an inkling, but never really knew. That was my fault for not letting you in. And with that, and with many other things, I'm sorry.
Tears in Esther's eyes, Raf struggles on.
It's where we talked about having children and always disagreed. It's where we nagged each other about council tax and housework and your endless to-do lists. It's where you once brought another woman home.
Esther looks down.
When I was away on a cycling trip. Made love to her in our bed. It's where we cried and made up. And I heard you promise that you would never do it again.
Esther looks up, her face full of emotion.
It's where you broke that promise. Again, again, and again.
Esther tries to make eye contact again.
That's where we loved each other. With all our hearts. And learned that sometimes love just isn't enough.
Raf and Esther both look down, breaking eye contact.
Thank you, Raf. That was beautiful. Esther?
Esther gathers herself.
Raf, I never wanted to be here, but Look at us. Here we are.
Raph half smiles.
Anyway, I've made a list of all the things I will and won't miss about you. I won't miss the cat. She always hated me.
Raph nods, raising his
I
eyebrows.
won't miss going wild swimming with you in the winter. You fucking lunatic. Who does that?
Raph grins.
I won't miss hurting you.
Raph stops grinning.
Your face, hard and stony when I told you what I'd done. I won't miss the slammed doors, the refusals to talk, constant guilt,
Raph wells up.
the reluctance about therapy or counselling, or the point-blank refusal to get any help.
Raph winces as if in pain.
I won't miss feeling helpless and shut out and unloved.
Both struggle to keep their composure.
I will miss climbing mountains with you. Fucking you by a campfire.
Raph grins through tears.
Losing to you at table football every single time. Watching you try all the flavours of ice cream before not buying one. That makes sense now.
They hold eye contact.
I'll miss holidays together. And your gender perplexing every single hotel we stayed in. Miss and Mr.?
They share a laugh.
I miss the way you call me Pet. As if you're Northern, even though you're from Bromley. The way you can imitate just about anyone. And the way you can't often say how you feel. But when you say, I love you, I hear essays in its place.
Esther wells up with tears, then Raph too.
I'll miss weekends in bed with you. One of us always vowing to get out of bed and buy a paper and never getting round to it. And instead, I'd get up the Guardian blind date on my phone and read it to you. And we'd both fantasize about just how blissful it would be if only we had the crossword. Whilst never fully appreciating how blissful it already was.
Tears run down Esther's cheeks.
And finally, I will miss you. Your big hands and thumbs that you've picked to shreds with anxiety. Your hugs. Your arse in jeans. The way your eyes crinkle when you smile. Your smell. It's warm like wood. Your enthusiasm. Your ambition. Your heart. And just you. Glorious, wonderful, compassionate. You.
Esther wipes the tears from her face. Raph looks broken. The officiant interjects.
It is now time for the exchange of rings.
Raph and then Esther produce rings.
I, Raph. Thank you, Esther.
I, Esther. Thank you, Raph.
For many wonderful years of love.
And companionship. And in returning this ring,
They place rings gently in each other's hands.
I set you free.
You may kiss each other goodbye.
They embrace. They hold each other tightly. The rest of the room is revealed to be empty of guests. They part, fade to black. The ceremony was written by Iman Qureshi and starred Amaka Okafor as Esther, Yaz Zada as Raf, and Erica Poole as the officiant. It was directed by Lyle Turner and produced by Martina Klitsch for Open Sky Theatre.